Okay, hey you guys. So I have to redo my stream because YouTube decided to cut out on me. And I usually have my stream open on the side because, yeah, on my streaming software I don't see anything but YouTube apps up and yeah. So I'm trying to think about what I said because I don't script my stuff. So, okay. So um, I turned 33 years old and I wanted to talk about this. Can you pet Clinton? So I wanted to talk about this because I think it's really important. And when it comes down to it, I feel very blessed that I hit 33 years of life. Um, I think that there's a lot of people who don't have that opportunity around the world, and let's be real here. People will pass away, and I think it hits harder and harder as we get older because we have more awareness, or we have more assumptions that, hey, if a person is like 30 something, they should live until they're 70, right? But we can't make that assumption because life is so fragile and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Maybe someone will have, let's say, a cancer diagnosis. Maybe they're going to, they'll be a good person and then they end up in a car accident. And I know people don't like to hear this. They'll be like, oh, why don't you talk about happy things? Why don't you talk about, um, how, how great life is and things like that? But I think some people, they don't think about death enough because what it comes down to is whenever a person passes away, there's two ways we can take it. We can either get swallowed up in grief and miss this person immensely and let it affect us to the point that our life goes at a standstill, or we can say, you know what, my life is really fragile and I need to make it count. And although that person's life was cut short and they're gone too soon, what we can do is we can just move forward with more awareness that we got to make the moments count. Clinton, can you?
It wants me.
Huh?
It wants you. I've been petting him this whole time and he ran away.
But yeah, it's like things like that. So yeah, it's like things like that. I'm having a really hard time making this stream because it's like the second time. This is like I said, this is unscripted, and yeah, it's a little hard when you have a cat that's distracting you. So I wanted to talk about this quote over here, and this quote says, "Death gives meaning to our lives. It gives importance and value to time. Time would be meaningless if there was too much of it," and that is absolutely correct. I think that when my uncle passed away, it really knocked it into me that don't take things for granted. Don't take how fortunate you are to live another day. Don't take it for granted that you live in America because in America, people have social services, right? If they want to seek, let's say, low income housing, they can go for it. If they don't have food, they can go to a food bank or food pantry, or even in New York, you can go to a community fridge. If you have a kid and you don't have, let's say, you don't have money, then you can go and apply for WIC, and yeah, food stamps, that kind of stuff. So there is so much safety nets, and people don't have this all over the world. I think sometimes it's like, and I've said this before, I think sometimes like Americans are very entitled. They're like, I want more, and they don't realize like how much people are struggling on on another continent because they don't have certain things. They don't have certain uh, things that we take for granted, like running water, right? We got running water, we got hot water over here, we got clean water. And meanwhile, in some remote areas or places like India, right, you don't have clean drinking water. You're not guaranteed to have that. Or having a toilet and things like that. But here, Americans are like, I'm so pissed off because, I don't have the newest gadget, or, my iPhone is too old, and I'm not hip, and I'm not cool, and I'm not cool with my friends, or, my peers got a more expensive phone. And it's like stupid like that. And it just kind of makes me think about that kind of stuff, like what really matters. And again, if you could pass away, you can't take your stuff with you, you can't take your possessions. And yeah, so death has made me kind of shifted that focus that what's really important is the people in my life, and make the best of it, and also try to try to be more aware of time moving forward. So I wanted to talk about this. And again, if you don't want to hear this stuff, you can click away and go la di da, and perhaps lose track of time or whatnot. But I think it's so important to be aware about what's going on. Oh, yeah, sound is off somehow. How the hell is my sound off? Is my sound really off? Seriously? Okay, whatever. I don't want to do this stream a third time, but maybe I'll do a third time. This is how, when life comes at you like this way, you gotta either roll with it or you gotta just say F you, YouTube. I'm gonna make this stream, and I don't care if I have to do it 3 times. Actually, if this stream doesn't turn out well, I'll do it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, whatever. I'm gonna make this stream. So, look at this. So, from birth to old age, here's what Americans are most likely to die from at every age. So when you are a little kid, right? When you're born, you're going to most likely die from birth defects. And then 1 to 4 accidents, 5 to 24 accidents, especially crashes, 5 to 44 accidents, especially poisoning, 45 to 64 cancer. My uncle passed away when he was, I believe, 56 years old. And then 65 plus heart disease. So let's look at this, right? So if you are living right now, and I know everybody who's watching my stream has to be living. Living. You are very fortunate because you have survived to see another day. And do not take this stuff for granted, right? You could have been born with a birth defect that perhaps, you didn't make it to your second day of life. And that's not something to take for granted. I'm very fortunate that, and I used to take this for granted, but I don't take this for granted anymore after I heard about my uncle. I'm able to live another day. I'm able to walk. I'm able to, go where I want to go. And I'm able to clearly communicate with you guys. And it's like things like that. Like if he didn't go through his battle with cancer, it wouldn't have hit me so hard. Like, wow, geez, that's really something that I need to be very thankful for. So look at this. 1 out of every 33 babies is born with a birth defect. Hold on. I got a cat who's like going, oh no. Blackberry, come over here. Okay, Blackberry. Come on here. What? What is it, huh? Why are you making that oh no thing, huh? Do you feel lonely? You should come over to me, okay? Don't go oh no for a long time because that doesn't help your situation, okay? I know people will say, Erica, how dare you talk to that cat that way? But it's true. If you want attention, you go and get attention. You don't just isolate yourself and that kind of stuff. Or, better yet, right? If someone's in front of you, you don't have to keep screaming like Clinton. And yeah, take it however you want. I don't really care. But it's just like things like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, make your situation better. If you want attention, you're able to walk, Blackberry. Come over to me. I don't want to keep going over to you, kind of thing. But normally, I'd just be like, just leave it. But I'm doing a stream and I just got a little agitated. And when I do these streams, very, very I'm aware of perception. I'm aware of how people would think about me. But truly, anybody who really knows me knows how I really am. I know people would take things out of context and be like, oh my gosh, Erica, you should answer to every cat's beck and call, either that you're a cruel person. But I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all. So anyway, going back to what I was saying over here. So that's why people put the big focus on it, wanting their kid to be healthy, right, when the kid is born, because 1 out of every 33 babies is born with a birth defect. And because kids are so fragile, you don't know if they're gonna, you don't know how strong they are. It's just one of those things, right? You nurture a kid for months inside of a womb, and then afterwards, you hope they have they're able to live a long life. So anyway, See, so second leading cause of death is premature birth. Understandable. But look at this. From age 1 to 4, babies tell their caregivers should be extra cautious around water. Look at this. 2 children under the age of 15 die from unintentional drowning every day. Isn't that crazy? I think it's absolutely crazy. For me, when I was younger, I think I was like between 3 to 5 years old. My mom and I went to a friend's pool, a family friend's pool, and then I couldn't swim, right? So my mom had me sit in the 8 foot section, and she was doing laps back and forth, and she said, just sit there, don't go in. And my dumb butt went in the water. And I remember, like, I thought I could swim. I thought, like, oh, how hard can it be? All I got to do is just flap and, kick. And, well, unfortunately, I wasn't buoyant, so I was drinking a lot of water. And my mom rescued me. So after that, she immediately signed me up for swimming classes, and I can swim as a result of those classes. But yeah, I could have possibly died or gotten seriously injured that day, but thankfully my mom rescued me. And see that? So yeah, you either 1 to 4, kids can drown, or again, there can be birth defects. Oh my God, Blackberry's doing it again. Oh my God. So yeah, look at this. For a person between 5 and 24, car crashes pose the greatest threat to their life, and this is the reason why I don't give a shit about cars. I know people will be thinking like, oh, if my car crashes, I'll be so sad, or I'll be horrified, or I'll be so pissed off. And but at the end of it, I don't give a crap about cars, because cars eventually all go in the landfill, right? Um, it's like, I don't know any, well, not all, maybe you'll have one out of every 200,000 cars that last from like the 1800s to now, right? Like it's in a museum or so. But a car, the whole point of a car is to get you from place A to place B. And if your car gets totaled because of an accident, what that means is that it protected you. So when Lewis crashed his car, he was shaken up, but the first thing I asked him was, "Are you okay?" And he said he was okay. His car, his Tesla, the hood, the front hood, was completely sheared off. It just like fell off. The windshield was cracked. The passenger side mirror was completely gone, but he was okay. He didn't have any whiplash, and I know people will think this is really cold, but if someone's car gets totaled, I really don't care. I really don't care if the car gets totaled. What I care about is the person inside. So I had a childhood friend. Her name was Allison. She was the same age as me. I think when she was in her 20, 25, 26 or so, maybe or around that age, like mid 20s, she got into a car accident, and she was in Las Vegas with her mom, and she passed away. So I had not seen or heard from her in a number of years, because she actually transferred schools. So because she transferred schools, I lost touch with her. But it wasn't like, I hated her or anything like that. We lost touch. She transferred schools when she was, I think, in middle school. But I had some friends who knew her, or got word of her passing, and then they let me know, and I was like, oh my gosh, she passed away in a car accident, and both her and her mom passed away. So imagine how devastated the family was. So for any of you guys who get into a car accident, please do not think that if you get into a car accident, like, don't get pissed off at the other driver or anything like that. If your car gets damaged, you got insurance. They got insurance, hopefully. It'll be okay. You can always buy another car. But if you guys get seriously injured, or you guys get in a coma, or you guys pass away, you can't replace that. You can't put a price on human life. Or imagine, right? Like Allison's family, do you think they really gave a crap about the condition of the car after they found out Allison and her mom died? Do you think they were like, oh, we got to plan a funeral? Oh, but by the way, how's the car doing? Do you think the car, do you think the car will be, salvageable? Do you think that the insurance will pay? They don't give a crap about the car. Seriously, I don't care if it's a $10,000 car, $2,000 car, $10,000 car, $50,000 car, $200,000 car. A car absolutely means nothing to me. And it shouldn't mean anything to you, because if you walk away from a car crash and you're okay, that's the most important. And I say this as a person who got T-boned in a car when she was like around, I think, 22 or so. I was learning how to drive. I had a driving instructor. I had green light, and all I was doing was going straight. So I think one or two cars went in the green light before me, and then afterwards I go through. I have a driver instructor on my right, so they have the e-brake. You know I'm not running the red, right? 3/4 of the way through, someone runs the red, crashes into the car I'm in, T-bones it. The car spins 180. I feel very grateful and very lucky that all I had was whiplash. And yeah, it wasn't anything terrible. It's like, yeah, it sucked, but whiplash. I'm still fine. So that shook me to the point that I didn't drive for 2 years, and that's one of the reasons why I don't feel comfortable driving, because it's like I know my reaction time, and I just kind of think that kind of stuff. So let's go over here. So look at this, more than 2,800 teens died in car crashes. I know people like to have the need for speed, but seriously, if you die in a car crash because of speeding, completely preventable, this kind of stuff. Okay, so second lead of cause of death among kids 5 to 9 is cancer, and then 10 to 24, I'm not going to say it, but you guys can read it, this stuff. And then afterwards, they say between 25 and 44, right, you don't die so much from car crashes, but it turns into accidental poisoning. So you're looking at prescription drugs, both legal and illegal over here. And I really think that people shouldn't be taking this stuff, they shouldn't be like ODing on this stuff or doing illegals. Because if you mix certain things like prescription drugs and alcohol, that's not good. I've known people who passed away from it, and I still remember. These kind of people. Jordan, for example, it's been people think, or we speculate that he died from prescription drugs and alcohol intentionally, because he tried to do that in his earlier attempt. And yeah, he was a he had a bright mind. He was a good person, and yeah, him dying around like 26 years old, that's something I still think about. Yeah, so see this? So I think like people do this kind of stuff, and I know people will give me shit about this, but I feel like people do prescriptions, or they, not prescriptions, but they do these like illegals because they want escapism, or they want to have this cool thing. And I don't think it's worth it, because it's like it's so easy for you to lose track in your life and get distracted. And then yeah, it's like that kind of stuff. It's not worth it. It's just like if you get addicted to that stuff, like alcoholism, it's like yes, you do have some escapism, but you have to like wean yourself off or try to get help, so that way it doesn't control your life. See? So I obviously don't do any illegals, and I'm not hooked on anything, and I don't drink alcohol. It's not like I refuse to drink alcohol, but I don't like drinking alcohol. So yeah, if I do drink alcohol, it's just like a sip or so. Yeah, so see, look. So besides this, second leading cause of death between 25 and 34 is this. And then afterwards, 35 to 44, it's cancer. So this is why I'm a big, I always support getting mental health treatment. I support seeking a therapist. If you have depression and anxiety, I've been very open about my issues with that. It's gotten a lot better than before, and I'm truly thankful for that. You really should seek help, because if you pass away because of this sort of thing and you don't seek help, in my opinion, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you don't know how life will be in the future. Like everybody goes through rough patches, but you need to find your support system. And yeah, it's like emotional turmoil is very painful, but I truly believe in seeking professional help mentally, and it helped my life immensely. I would not have the quality of life that I have now if I did not seek the help of a mental health professional, and I'm truly grateful for that. So yeah, and then 35 to 44 years old, it's cancer. So this kind of stuff, right? Cancer, that's how my uncle passed away. He passed away at 56. I think about it. See? So from age 45 to 64, our cells age and DNA gets damaged. Cancer becomes the greatest risk to our lives. See? Look at this. Cancer is the second cause of death over on the U.S. It's the most common way to pass away. And people will say, oh, don't smoke, reduce your exposure to toxins, don't drink, exercise, eat healthy. My uncle did all of that. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he didn't have any, he wasn't on any prescriptions or drugs or anything like that. He was a really good person, and cancer took him. Cancer took him, and the scary thing about cancer is the more I research it, like people aren't aware of and them having cancer unless it's like usually stage 3 or stage 4, unless they get screening, because it just hits you. It's like you're okay, and then you feel a little sick, and then maybe something happens where you collapse, and then that's when you go to the doctor, and then that's when they do the scans, and then that's when they find out that you have cancer. So my uncle did not know he had cancer until it was at stage 4 and it metastasized. So the cancer in his kidney was actually the size of an orange when it was caught, and then it went into his lungs, it went in his surrounding organs, it went in his brain, it went in his bones, and yeah, like that kind of stuff. It's horrific. I told you guys that he lost mobility, he lost a lot of his dignity, and yeah, it's like that kind of, like a person who works out every day, who's fit, who eats healthy. Obviously fit, fitter than I'd say 95% of my family, maybe even like 99% of my family, than my immediate family. Yeah, it's like that stuff, and just knowing what happened, it's like, it's terrible. It's really terrible. So that's something that I'm mindful about. My grandma on my mom's side, right? My mom's mom passed away from a brain tumor when she was 61 years old. She also didn't, she didn't drink, she didn't smoke, she ate healthy, she wasn't overweight or anything like that, and she had a brain tumor. And yeah, so I've shared it with you guys, and I know I'm repeating myself, but if you know anyone with a cancer, spend as much time as you can with them, support them, because you are not guaranteed on how long you have with them. Cancer is such a vicious thing. You don't know how long it's gonna just how long it can affect someone. My grandma had 2 years of life after her diagnosis, 2 or 3 years of life after her diagnosis. She went under, she undergoed radiation, and she got surgery, and then she did some holistic stuff. Cancer came back, then she did like radiation chemotherapy. But 2 to 3 years of life or so, compared to my uncle, it's like 4 months after his diagnosis, he passed away. So, that kind of stuff. Like, I wish I didn't assume that he had at least a year of life, but I did. So many people did. We all assumed that, oh, it's now we're in 2021, should have a lot more advances, but truly for cancer, it almost seems like the only way to really go about it is either chemotherapy or radiation. Things haven't really changed, in my opinion. So, yeah, as we get older, right, we have more risk of cancer, it seems. And then second lead of death, 45 to 64, is heart disease, right? Heart disease is something I think that, and I've said this before, like, I really believe in cutting a lot of processed foods, because if you have, like, if you eat so much, like, fast food, deep fried foods, that's not good for your body, for sure. And then, yeah, so average life expectancy is 78.6 years, all this stuff, right? So now life expectancy is lower, and I think it's because we're more sedentary, we eat more crap food, we have more processed foods, more like microwave dinners kind of stuff, and we don't eat as clean as we used to. That's just my speculation. But like, for instance, the Japanese eat very healthy, right? They don't eat too much processed foods. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. And I know some people will dislike this stream because it seems very morbid. But if you are alive right now, it is such a blessing, you guys. Because I think it's such a gift to see another day and to be able to enjoy time with our loved ones. And if you are able to do whatever you want to do, right? If you're able to get out of the house, or able to speak or see or hear things, you're even more blessed, right? But don't take that stuff for granted. I'm not taking this stuff for granted. And I think that as I get older, I'm gonna feel more and more fortunate that my health is okay. I like, knock on wood. I hope I don't get into an accident, and I hope I don't get cancer. But if I do, which I really, really hope I don't, I will, I know what really matters to me, and that is the people in my life, and it's the connections with people, and it's to try and make the world a better place and things like that. So 33, going into 33 for me, I feel like I'm more mentally, aware of things, and I don't live a life where I'm like doom and gloom kind of thing. It's just having that awareness makes me think, I'm really lucky, and I'm really lucky to have the people in my life that I have, to live in a country where there is social services for people, and I don't have to worry about, let's say, drinking water or toilet care, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna re-chat really quickly, and yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes. I know people probably thought this stream was gonna be like, I'm so happy I'm 33, but I just feel very grateful that I am 33. I feel grateful that I have wonderful people in my life, and I'm happy that I can get out of the house. I can move around. I can speak with you all, and I can read what you guys send to me. And yeah, I don't take any of that stuff for granted. Yeah. Sonia says I've seen too many lifelong painful injuries and car wrecks. Yeah, people should have to work car wreck cleanups as they learn to drive. Yeah, people need to think more long term, not just short term, in my opinion. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm so happy that Afterburner, is alive. Look at that. Almost lost life at 27 to leukemia. Almost didn't wake up. 8 months of inpatient chemotherapy. I'm here on Earth. I hope you have a very long and healthy life, Afterburner. I'm happy that chemotherapy worked for you. My uncle was in the middle of chemotherapy actually when he succumbed to cancer. So, um, yeah, that's what really sucked. We thought like, man, he would get better with chemotherapy, but the cancer was just too aggressive. It was just too far spread. I never saw his charts, but according to family, they said that they couldn't believe he was alive because it was all over the place. Keep in mind, he also had bone cancer too, so he was in excruciating pain. And I pray for his soul. I pray that he's okay up in heaven with my mom and my grandma and his dad, and yeah. But I'll never forget what kind of person my uncle was. He was a very kind and loving person, very selfless. Yep, yep, yeah. So for all you guys, like I said, I know this stream turned in a little different how you guys probably thought I was gonna make this stream, but I made 33. I'm happy and grateful I made it to 33. And I'm happy that all of you guys, whatever age you are, whether you be like 18 years old or 65 years old or 85 years old, I'm happy you made it to this far in life. And I hope you all have a long, healthy, happy life. And you have, and you're surrounded with people that love and care about you. And if you are not where you want to be in life right now, know that time is there. As long as you have another day, you can make your life better. It's not, your life might not change overnight. It might take a year or 6 months or a couple weeks, but you can always make a change forward. And my headspace at 33 right now, I think is the best that it's ever been in my life. So I feel like I'm more focused, and I feel like because I know time is finite, and because I know that, hey, not everybody has this kind of blessing to hit 33, I really should do more. I really should do more. And again, right, like my days are numbered, time is short, and but I thoroughly enjoy my life. And yeah, I hope that all of you guys don't just go through life and then go through the movements of life, and you don't stop and smell the roses, because what I have learned from hitting 33 is life goes as like a blink of an eye. And I know I'm going to blink again. I'm going to feel like I blink again, and I'm going to be 43, then 53, then 63, then 73. Hopefully, I want to make it to my 90s. I want to make it to like 93 or so, like long, healthy, happy life. I want to have mobility as long as I can. And I want to look back at my life and say, I've known so many incredible people in my life, and I try to make the world a better place. And all the people that passed away before me, I can't wait. I can't wait till one day I'll see them again. But I don't want to. I want to feel like, yeah, I spent as much time as I could on Earth, and I made the most of it. And maybe I lost my way. Like I lost 10 years of my life with, in my head with depression and anxiety. But I am moving forward. I'm moving forward, and I use that experience to tell you guys who are suffering with depression and anxiety, like get mental health, get go seek a therapist, seek a doctor, and you gotta trust and you gotta believe that it's gonna be better. It was really hard. It was really hard for me, and yeah, I had to seek a therapist for that. And I also had some really good friends who also struggle with mental health issues, try and like change my thought process. Instead of talking down on myself, they said, what are you going to do about it? Like you can say you're this or you're that, but like if you had this feedback loop, nothing changes. And that's why you guys see me repeat myself over and over, and I try to say, like, you gotta stop the negative voice in your head. Like if a voice tells you, you suck, you gotta just like look in the mirror, at the mirror, like look at yourself, but don't look at yourself look at the negative voice inside of your head that's telling you that you suck, and you tell them, not today, asshole. I take it one day at a time. So I don't say like, go away for the rest of my life, because I know, I might have these feelings of like low self-worth. It's a lot less than it happened before. I see myself as a work in progress, but I lost 10 years of my life for that. So I hope you guys, I hope by being, sharing this kind of stuff, you guys don't lose as much time as I did. Or if you do, I hope you guys get out of it, because there's so much to life that I think that we need to just like not let the negativity in our voice, negativity in our head, that voice, like just prevent us from living a life that we want to live. You see, like it's not good to live a life in depression. And again, I say this from experience, and I don't want that for you guys as well. So yeah, that kind of stuff. So let me read this really quick. Yeah, it's okay if you lack direction in life. You just gotta, when you find your direction, it'll come to you. Even if it's like, you hear about some people, like some successful people, they don't start their company until they're like 50 or 60. There was like a whole chart about that. So don't think like you need to know exactly, like you wake up in the morning, you're like, I want to do this. Like, no, just the answer will come to you. But even if you lack direction in life, like ask yourself, like what do you like to do? What is your goal in life? What do you want? What is like, if you're on your deathbed, what do you want to accomplish? And then just go from there. Like if you think, oh, I want to accomplish, like I want to be, let's say, have a cookbook, right? Then work on a cookbook. If you want to be a really good chef, then start cooking, or focus more on cooking. Or if you are going through the process, right, keep at it. Keep at it. You'll be better over time. Like a freaking master at cooking doesn't happen like in 2 days, right? It takes time. You gotta be patient with yourself. Sometimes I feel like people are impatient with themselves, but they're more patient with other people, and it's kind of messed up with that. Yeah, life is truly a gift. I think that sometimes people take it for granted, especially in America. Like, I only say it in America because it's like I see people all like, oh, I'm sad because I don't have the latest iPhone. It's like, dude, there's more important things to life than the freaking, latest electronic thing. Or they feel like they're chasing luxury items. And that's why I tell you guys, like, your luxury items or purchases or possessions don't define you. What defines you is your character, how you treat other people. That's how I remember my uncle. My uncle, well, the thing that sticks out about him is not his job, not, how good he was at saving money, but how he treated other people and how he was towards other people. Like his character is something that's absolutely priceless. Yeah. Yep, treasure your life. Exactly, Sonia. A person never knows when something will happen to their body. An accident or injury may have to live with the results for the rest of your life. Be careful and treasure your life. Yeah. And also, right, I would suggest for anybody who is, let's say, if because we all know life is fragile, right? And I know people will say I'm sounding preachy here. I would highly suggest tell people that you love, like when you like your parents or something like that, you love them. Like whenever I get off the phone with my dad, I always tell him I love him because I don't know what tomorrow brings. I don't know what will happen, but what I do know is that I like to make it so the last thing he hears from me is that I love him, and he knows I love him a lot. It sounds kind of cheesy, but it's not cheesy because if like you ended up in a car accident or you died, right? Like it would be nice as like the last thing the person knew that you said about them was as that you loved them. The last thing I told my uncle who passed away from cancer was that I loved him and we loved him and we were all praying and hoping that he got better. Yeah. Yep, make the most of what you have. So 33, I like I said I have a much mental headspace than I did in previous years in my opinion because it's like I recognize like yes, I do have, I do still struggle, with anxiety. I don't want to say struggle as much, but it's like I like, you have periods of time where you're feeling anxious or you're feeling depressed, but I know I can get through it. I know that tomorrow is another day, and even if I'm having a bad day today, like I could freaking in my foot today, right? It's just a temporary thing, right? Tomorrow it's like maybe it'll be better kind of thing. Hopefully Clinton doesn't scratch my foot to the point where I need to get 5 kitchen paper towels in the middle of the night. But yeah, that kind of stuff, right? Like you might have a bad day today, you might have a bad day tomorrow, you might have a bad month. But what about next month? What about next year? You don't know. And my life, if I had to compare it right now to how it was back when I was like severely depressed, it is so much better because I was able to just like basically tell that negative voice in my head like, not today, asshole. And that's it sounds silly for me to say that, but if any of you guys have depression, I would really recommend look in the mirror, recognize that you have a voice in your head telling you that, all these lies that you suck or something like that, and you just look at the mirror, focus on the voice, like look at yourself but focus on the voice and just say, you know what, not today, asshole. like so you're not telling it yourself, but you're telling it the voice that's trying to make your life worse. And that helps, one day at a time. Don't be all like I gotta be perfect. You will have ups and downs. I've had ups and downs, and that's what I learned in my 33 years of life so far. Life is not perfect, but the the bad things that happen in our life, the negative things, that makes the good times even sweeter. And right now, I feel like mentally I'm right where I need to be. And I'm really excited for my life moving forward. And again, I say this optimistically right now, but I know, I'm going to have a bad day, bad month, maybe bad year. But I know I'm going to get through it for sure. And all of you guys, you'll get through it too. We just got to all hang on and we need to, have hope. And if you're struggling, don't be afraid to reach out to another person. There's no taboo in that. Everybody has ups and downs. People seek mental health. If you have an addiction, if you have some sort of negative thing, right, you got to ask yourself, do you want to continue that spiral, that cycle, or do you want to get out of it? And I hope that if you guys have any inner demons or anything that you're struggling with, I hope you find the strength to face it and say, I recognize that I have an issue and I want to be better. Same like if you break a leg, right? You have no hesitation going to a doctor. So treat yourself with that same kind of level of respect as well. And again, if you guys see a doctor and you see a therapist and your therapist doesn't work, you just don't jive with them, seek another doctor. I've spoken to a few people where they have a therapist and the first therapist and the second therapist wasn't the greatest, but they found a doctor that worked with them, and their life is so much better because of it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so Mud says, love you all. Tell someone you love them today and give them a hug. Yeah. Yeah, and also it's good to donate blood too. I should actually donate blood, but I don't know. I don't know how the. Yeah, actually, I haven't donated blood in I think 2 years since I came to New York, kind of stuff. So yeah, take it easy. Take care of yourself, you guys. Treat yourself very kindly. I feel like you cannot be kind to other people unless you're kind to yourself first, like truly kind, because that you're gonna be a hypocrite, right? If you're like, oh, you shouldn't talk to yourself that way, and then you yourself is like talking down on yourself, right? We gotta be equal. If you are consoling another person who's beating themselves up, but you're beating yourself up about something, like stop that crap, you guys. Like, just treat yourself very with respect and kindness, okay? So, yeah, yeah. So Sonia says, I feel lucky to have a roof over my head, heat and AC to keep fairly comfortable, and food to eat. True blessings. Everything else is a huge plus. Family and friends are the most important. Yep, I agree with you completely, Sonia. I completely agree with you. And I hope you guys hold on to, those words because it's truly important. And again, our life might not be where we want it to be, but if we work at it and we have hope and we keep going at it, life will go up. It's going to go down, okay? Life is not just a straight trajectory up. It's going to go down, but even if we go through all these like down times, always just have hope in yourself and treat yourself very kindly. Yeah. So, I will talk to you guys later. And thank you for listening to my little stream. And thank you, Jim, for the little donation. I really appreciate it. I'm happy and I'm so grateful that I made it to my 33rd year of life. And you guys should be happy as well. And I hope you guys have a long, happy, healthy life. And if you're not where you want to be, if you're not where you want to be, hold on, and just look around for the people around you for support. Yeah, and I wish you guys all well. I'll talk to you guys later.